Now to an important case weighing free speech against national security concern.
The Supreme Court will soon decide the fate of TikTok. Justices heard arguments today on that looming ban that goes into effect in just over a week, unless TikTok's China-based owner sells the platform. The government argues that that app gives China concerning access to data. Content creators and small businesses who use TikTok, they say that their livelihood is at stake.
Joining us now to talk about the case, Northwestern University computer science professor V.S. Subramanian. Professor, it feels like people were probably only half watching this because TikTok is so ubiquitous they thought, okay, this is probably not going to happen.
Right.
What happens if it does on January 19th?
Well, it depends, I think, is the quick answer. We know what the law is saying, but what we don't know is how the law is going to be enforced. Who's responsible for enforcing it? Which parties are responsible for what actions? Is TikTok going to take some actions? Are communications providers, such as cell phone companies, phone companies, going to be required to take some actions? Are internet companies required to take some actions to cut off access to those servers from the United States? We don't know exactly how this is going to play out at this point.
Interesting. What was your response to hearing the government call the app a national security threat?
Well, if you think about your own phones, imagine how much data you have on it. You've got potentially financial information, health apps, certainly your photos, your contacts list, your emails, text messages, personal information, family, friends, and more. So when there are millions of phones with this kind of information, also having an app such as TikTok running on it, that app, depending on the permissions that you've let the app have, or that the app demands in order to be installed, provides a lot of data to those apps. And when it's collected from millions of people, including military personnel, police, law enforcement, FBI, CIA, that is a lot of information about the private lives, financial situations, healthcare situations of millions of Americans.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that can pose threats because China has incredible powers in machine learning. They can learn a lot of things from that data, in addition to the explicit data that's present.
Right. This is kind of a loaded question, Professor, but is there any indication that ByteDance has been willing to sell it? And also, what is it possibly worth? And is there anyone who could or would be able to afford it?
Yeah.
That is a difficult question. And, what I can say is that the last time we saw this event happen during the previous administration, there were willing suitors to buy TikTok operations in the United States. So I don't think anybody's talking about buying ByteDance's global operations, but buying their operations in the U.S.
It's going to be an interesting next few weeks. Professor, thank you so much for your insight and your time. We may be checking back in with you on the 19th.
Thanks, Professor.
Thank you very much.